The conference room was dead silent. Vanessa stood at the front, clicking through her presentation slides, when suddenly everything froze. The client's face shifted from interested to confused as slide after slide showed nothing but placeholder text and broken image links. I don't understand. This was working this morning. Ms. Monroe, you're asking for $300,000 based on a presentation that appears to be empty? I sat in the back corner, watching her panic, knowing exactly why her presentation had collapsed. Because 3 days ago, she'd stolen my work and presented it as her own. What she didn't know was that I'd left her a special surprise. My name is Maya Anderson. I'm 26 years old, and 6 months ago, I landed my dream job as a junior marketing strategist at Innovate Marketing Agency in Austin, Texas. Innovate handled major tech clients, startups going public, established companies rebranding, product launches worth millions. It was fast-paced, competitive, and exactly where I wanted to be. I was the youngest strategist they'd ever hired. Fresh out of grad school with a master's in digital marketing, I had something to prove. I worked 70-hour weeks, took on every assignment, studied every successful campaign we'd ever run. My mentor was James Parker, the creative director, 42, brilliant, and someone who actually believed in developing young talent. Maya, you've got instincts most people take a decade to develop. Keep pushing. You're going places. Then there was Vanessa Monroe. Vanessa was 35, senior account manager, and had been with Innovate for 8 years. She handled our biggest clients, closed our largest deals, and made sure everyone knew it. Expensive clothes, perfectly styled hair, an office twice the size of anyone else's. She also had a reputation. People whispered about it in the break room, careful never to say anything too loudly. Vanessa's presentations always look familiar, someone mentioned once. She's really good at collaboration, another person said with air quotes. I didn't pay much attention at first. I was too focused on my own work. That changed when I got assigned to the Richardson account. Richardson Tech was a software company going public. They needed a complete rebrand, social media strategy, and launch campaign. The contract was worth $300,000, the biggest pitch of the quarter. James called me into his office on a Monday morning. Maya, I'm putting you on Richardson. I want you to lead the strategy development. Vanessa will handle the client relationship and final presentation, but the strategy is yours. This is your chance to show what you can do. I was ecstatic, terrified but ecstatic. I spent the next 2 weeks living and breathing Richardson Tech. I analyzed their competitors, studied their target demographic, surveyed potential customers, created mock-ups, developed 3 different campaign concepts with full implementation timelines. I worked until midnight every night. I canceled plans with friends. I lived on coffee and takeout. My presentation was 63 slides of pure strategy gold: market analysis, customer personas, content calendars, ROI projections, budget breakdowns, everything. I saved it in our shared project folder with a clear file name, Richardson_strategy_Maya_final.pptx. The pitch meeting was scheduled for Friday at 2 p.m. Wednesday afternoon, I was refining the final details when Sophie, our intern, knocked on my cubicle. Maya, did you see Vanessa's calendar invite? She scheduled a Richardson strategy preview meeting for tomorrow morning with just her and James. My stomach dropped. Preview meeting? James didn't mention that to me. I don't know if I should say this, but I saw Vanessa in here last night after everyone left. She was at your desk. I thought maybe you'd asked her to grab something, but... I immediately opened my laptop and checked the shared folder. My presentation file had been accessed at 8:47 p.m. the previous night by Vanessa Monroe. Then I checked the version history. She'd made a copy, deleted my name from every slide, added hers. My hands started shaking. I pulled up my calendar. There it was, the meeting Sophie mentioned. Richardson Strategy Preview, Vanessa Monroe and James Parker, 9 a.m. Thursday. She was going to present my work as hers, to my mentor, the day before the client meeting. I sat there staring at my screen, rage building in my chest. 2 weeks of work, every late night, every skipped meal, every brilliant idea. And Vanessa was going to smile, present it as her own genius, and take all the credit. I could report it to HR, I could confront her, I could tell James. But I had a better idea. That night, I stayed late at the office, really late. Around 9 p.m., when everyone else had gone home, I opened our shared project folder and found Vanessa's stolen version of my presentation. She'd renamed it Richardson_final_presentation_VM.pptx. VM for Vanessa Monroe. How subtle. I opened it and reviewed every slide. She'd kept everything: my research, my strategy, my graphics, my wording. The only thing she'd changed was replacing my name with hers in the footer. She wasn't even creative about her theft. Here's what Vanessa didn't know about me. Before grad school, I'd worked in IT support for 2 years. I knew software inside and out, and I knew that PowerPoint presentations are actually just zip files containing XML and media files. If you know what you're doing, you can edit them in ways most people never consider. I made a copy of her stolen presentation and started working. First, I embedded a time-based trigger. The presentation would work perfectly fine until exactly 2:15 p.m. on Friday. That was 15 minutes into our client meeting, right when Vanessa would be hitting her stride. Second, I altered the image links. They'd display correctly in preview mode and for the first few slides. Then they'd break, showing nothing but error messages. Third, I edited the embedded data tables. They'd show correct numbers initially, then flip to obviously wrong figures, like claiming a 4,000% ROI or negative customer acquisition costs. Finally, I modified the slide transitions to skip randomly, making it impossible to navigate smoothly. The kicker? All of this would only trigger on Friday afternoon. If she practiced beforehand, everything would work perfectly. I saved the modified version, made sure it overwrote her copy, and went home. Thursday morning, I watched Vanessa's strategy preview meeting happen through the glass walls of the conference room. She stood there confidently presenting my work to James. He nodded, asked questions, took notes. She had answers for everything, because I'd already thought through every angle. After 30 minutes, I saw James shake her hand. Big smile, clearly impressed. My phone buzzed. Email from James. Maya, great work supporting Vanessa on Richardson. She mentioned you helped with some of the research. Nice teamwork. Helped with some research. Some research. I replied professionally, happy to contribute to the team effort. But inside, I was seething and counting down to Friday at 2:15 p.m. Friday morning, Vanessa was glowing. She walked through the office like she'd already won. Big day! The Richardson pitch is going to be spectacular. James pulled me aside around noon. Maya, you're sitting in on the pitch this afternoon. Vanessa's leading, obviously, but I want you there. Good experience for you to see how senior people close deals. Wouldn't miss it, I said with a smile. At 1:45 p.m., we all gathered in the main conference room. Our CEO was there. James, Vanessa, me, 2 other senior staff members. At 2 p.m., Mr. Richardson and his team arrived. 3 executives, all dressed sharply, all carrying folders and looking serious. Vanessa was in her element. Confident handshakes, warm smiles, professional small talk. We're incredibly excited to show you what we've developed. I've personally spent the past 2 weeks crafting a strategy that I believe will transform your market position. I sat in the back corner, laptop open, taking notes like the good junior employee I was supposed to be. Vanessa connected her laptop to the projector. The title slide appeared, Richardson Tech, Brand Launch Strategy, presented by Vanessa Monroe, Senior Account Manager. She began. The first 5 minutes went perfectly. Her stolen slides displayed beautifully. The data looked solid. Mr. Richardson was leaning forward, engaged. Vanessa was hitting every point I'd written, delivering every insight I'd developed, using every persuasive technique I'd crafted. I checked my watch. 2:14 p.m. Vanessa clicked to slide 12, our customer persona breakdown. The slide loaded, then flickered. Then the images disappeared, replaced by red X error boxes. She paused, clicked back, clicked forward again. Same problem. Technical glitch, sorry, let me just... She tried to advance. Slide 15 appeared instead of 13. The data table showed customer acquisition cost as negative $800. That number can't be right. No, that's... Let me go back, Vanessa said, clicking frantically. The presentation won in the first month. One of Richardson's executives actually laughed. 4,000%? In 1 month? Is this a joke? I don't understand. This was working this morning. I tested it multiple times. She tried closing and reopening the presentation. The title slide appeared normally. She sighed with relief and started over. Got to slide 8. Everything froze. The screen went black, then showed a slide that was supposed to appear in the conclusion, completely out of context. The room was silent except for Vanessa's increasingly desperate clicking. James stood up. Vanessa, maybe we should reschedule. Give you time to fix the technical issues. Mr. Richardson was already packing his folder. Mr. Parker, I appreciate your time, but we need a team that has their materials together. This is unprofessional. Please, I can fix this. Just give me 5 minutes. We don't have 5 minutes. We have 2 other agency presentations this week. I think we'll be exploring those options. He and his team walked out. Our CEO followed them, trying to salvage the situation, but I could see from his expression it was over. The conference room emptied. Everyone except James, Vanessa, and me. Vanessa was staring at her laptop screen, shaking. I don't understand. I tested this. It worked perfectly. Everything was fine. Vanessa, what happened? I don't know. The file must have gotten corrupted somehow. Maybe when I copied it from the shared drive. She stopped herself, just a second too late. James's expression changed. Copied it? I thought you created this presentation. I did. I compiled it from various sources. Team collaboration. Maya helped with some research and Maya, can you come here for a second? I walked to the front of the room, my heart pounding but my expression calm. Maya, when did you last work on the Richardson strategy? I completed the full strategic development 2 weeks ago. 63 slides. Market analysis, customer personas, campaign concepts, budget projections, implementation timeline. I saved it in the shared project folder on Monday night. I pulled out my laptop and opened my original file, the one I'd kept in my personal drive, not the shared folder. This is my version. Original creation date, version history, everything. I displayed it on the projector. Perfect slide after perfect slide, every image crisp, every data point accurate, every transition smooth. James looked at it, then at Vanessa's crashed presentation, then at Vanessa. Vanessa, is this Maya's work? We collaborated. It was a team effort. I synthesized her research into a client-ready presentation. Really? I said quietly. Because I checked the file access logs. You copied my presentation Wednesday night at 8:47 p.m. You changed the name in the footer from mine to yours. You didn't add anything. You didn't modify the strategy. You just stole it. That's not what happened. Sophie saw you at my desk Wednesday night, after everyone had left. The version history shows every change. And the presentation you tried to show today? That was a direct copy of my work with only the attribution changed. James pulled out his phone. I'm looking at the email thread. Maya, you sent me an update Monday saying the Richardson strategy was complete and in the shared folder. Vanessa, you scheduled the preview meeting with me Wednesday, after Maya had already finished the work. The silence was crushing. James, let me explain. Did you or did you not take Maya's presentation and present it as your own work? Vanessa's face crumpled. I refined it. I made it client-ready. Maya's work needed senior-level polish. Show me what you added. Show me a single slide, one insight, any strategic element you contributed. Vanessa couldn't, because there wasn't anything. James turned to me. Maya, did you know your presentation was going to crash during the meeting? This was the moment. I could lie, I could play innocent, but I didn't. Yes. You knew? I saw that Vanessa had stolen my work. I modified the version she copied to fail during the client presentation. I wanted her to experience the consequences of theft in the most public way possible. I expected anger. I expected to be fired along with Vanessa. Instead, James started laughing. Not a happy laugh, a tired, frustrated laugh. So let me get this straight. Vanessa stole your presentation. You sabotaged the copy she stole, and we just lost a $300,000 client because of this disaster? Yes, sir. He shook his head. Vanessa, you're suspended pending an HR investigation. Go home. Now. Vanessa grabbed her laptop and practically ran from the room. James looked at me. Maya, you do realize you just cost this agency a massive client? Vanessa cost us the client by stealing work instead of doing her own. I just exposed it. By sabotaging a client presentation, that's not professional. Neither is plagiarism. We stared at each other. Finally, James sighed. You're right, and you're also incredibly reckless. But you're right. The next week was chaos. HR launched a full investigation. They pulled file access logs, version histories, emails, everything. They interviewed Sophie, other team members, people who'd worked with Vanessa before. Turned out I wasn't her first victim. Over 8 years, Vanessa had built her reputation by taking credit for other people's work. Junior employees were too intimidated to speak up. She was untouchable, until she wasn't. Vanessa was terminated on Wednesday for plagiarism and ethics violations. I was called into a meeting with James and our CEO, Catherine Webb. Catherine was 55, sharp as a blade, and built Innovate from a 2-person startup to a multi-million-dollar agency. Maya, what you did was unprofessional. Sabotaging a client presentation, regardless of the circumstances, is not how we operate. I understand. However, Vanessa's theft was inexcusable, and your original strategy work was exceptional. James has been raving about it. She slid a folder across the table. I contacted Mr. Richardson personally. I explained what happened. I apologized. I sent him your original presentation and made it clear that you were the strategist behind it. He was impressed. I held my breath. He's giving us another shot, but only if you lead the pitch, not as junior support, as the lead strategist. My eyes widened. Really? Really. You'll present directly to him next Thursday. James will be there for support, but this is your account now. Can you handle it? Yes, absolutely. Good. Also, you're being promoted to marketing strategist. No more junior title. 20% raise, effective immediately. I couldn't speak. Don't sabotage any more presentations, but also don't let anyone steal your work. Clear? Crystal clear. The following Thursday, I presented to Richardson Tech. My strategy, my insights, my name on every slide. They signed the contract that afternoon. $300,000, my first major account. James pulled me aside afterward. That was exceptional, Maya. I knew you had talent, but watching you command that room, you're going to run this place someday. Sophie, who'd helped me prepare for the presentation, was ecstatic. Maya, that was incredible. You destroyed it. Amanda, who'd worked with Vanessa for years, sent me a message. Thank you for doing what the rest of us were too scared to do. 6 months later, I'm leading 3 major accounts. I've hired 2 junior strategists, and I make sure to mentor them properly, giving credit where it's due, teaching them, supporting their growth. I'm 27 now. I have my own office. I'm being considered for senior strategist next quarter. And Vanessa? Last I heard, she's doing freelance work. Her reputation in the industry is destroyed. Turns out when you build your career on other people's work, you have nothing left when that's exposed. People ask if I regret sabotaging that presentation, if I'd do it differently. Honestly, Maybe I'd handle it through proper channels first. Report to HR, document everything, follow protocol. But would that have worked? Vanessa was senior, I was junior. She'd been stealing for years and no one stopped her. Sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. What I learned: your work is your reputation. Protect it fiercely. Document everything. And if someone steals from you, don't stay silent hoping someone else will fix it. I also learned that sometimes the right people are watching. Catherine could have fired me for sabotaging that presentation. Instead, she saw someone who refused to be victimized. Vanessa made one crucial mistake. She thought being senior meant she could take whatever she wanted from people below her. She forgot that junior doesn't mean powerless. It just means we have to be smarter. And I was. Vanessa wanted my success without doing the work. Instead, she got exposed, humiliated, and fired. I got the account, the promotion, and the respect. Sometimes karma needs good Wi-Fi connection and a basic understanding of PowerPoint coding, and I had both.